took a job he was qualified for and got. And now that since then he's been harassed because people don't believe black people should be at Cambridge. That's actually the
People
story.
don't believe that black people should be at Cambridge.
Yes, there's actually a playbook of this where they try and find everything they can. And I would stress, prior to Cambridge, none of this happened. It's only happened when he went to Cambridge.
Because he got into the public eye as the youngest black professor at Cambridge.
And then people said, how...
Hey everyone, welcome back to Julian Discourse. Before we dive in, make sure to like and subscribe. Watch what happens when Julia Hartley-Brewer corners Professor Kehinde Andrews over a Cambridge academic who resigned after being caught fabricating his resume. Instead of defending the facts, watch him panic and claim that simply asking a professor to verify their credentials is a racist attack. It perfectly exposes how the radical left uses identity politics to dodge basic, real-world accountability. Watch this.
No, it's not both. It's one. It's very clearly one. There are 26,000 professors in this country, and less than 200 of us are black. In fact, I was made redundant the other day after 12 years of being excellent at my job. Jason Arday is no longer a professor. It is almost impossible for... It is almost impossible for black people to become professors.
What do you mean it's almost impossible? Are you saying that universities, which are renowned for being obsessed with diversity, equity, inclusion, are going, we don't want to have any black people in top roles?
No, that's the lie. Universities are not woke. Universities are not left-wing. Universities are some of the most racist institutions you can ever be in. I've worked and been a student for the last 24 years. Not one time has me being black been a beneficial. It's actually lost me my job in many occasions. And the evidence is very clear. There's literally less than 200 black professors. We can't all get on a plane together because if it crashes, we'll all be gone.
But here's the thing. You know, the whole point of a professorship is it's tenure for life, doesn't it? So that these jobs don't come up. So once someone has a job, and given actually, again, the demographics of this country and the academic achievements of children who largely have come from immigrant backgrounds in the past, who've been in working class inner city families with lots of really, frankly, rubbish schools and haven't been able to reach their full potential, are then held back, unlikely to make it to that stage. We have seen in recent years a wonderful explosion in the number of young people from ethnic minorities going to university. We will see that change over the years, but that's a long-term demographic sociology.
No.
So, you know,
I'm sorry, that's not... For 3% of the population is black. Black students are overrepresented in undergraduate, but actually underrepresented in masters and PhD because of the idea that we can't think.
No, it's actually because of the choice of university of a lot of young black people.
It's not about the choice of university. It's about it's about the choices you have are limited when you are black. But there's a whole conversation about it. But the point I make here is, there is nobody sensible who will tell you that being black gets you benefits in academia.
But he claimed to have written a book that he hadn't written, had published. He claimed all these numerous academic positions that he has never held. Here's some of the other claims he's made. I mean, again, you might argue these aren't academic issues, but he claimed, you know, he had autism. He was diagnosed at 3 years old. He was mute to the age of 11. He was illiterate to the age of 18. He then, when he did his academic work, did his PhD, that he was able to do his Viva, the oral exam, 3 weeks after having brain surgery for a brain tumour. He's claimed that he was in this BBC series 7 Up that was 20 years before he was born.
He didn't claim that.
He claimed it in 2 interviews on record.
He said he was in a program that was 7 Up. He subsequently said that program was not the TV program.
Called
he was a black. He said, and I don't have any evidence against this. This is a black community program led by mothers.
He
never said he was in the BBC 7 Up. He never said it.
Kehinde, he claimed he was in the BBC series 7 Up, and when it was exposed to him that he couldn't have been because it was 20 years before he was born, he then said he'd used the term 7 Up informally as a shorthand illustration of the concept.
Look, he never said BBC. I've watched the thing. He said 7 Up program, and everybody assumes BBC. Black people also organise things in the community. I don't know that not to be true.
He also claimed he was the victim of racist intimidation. A masked man once with a knife threatening him. When there was huge amounts of CCTV that apparently didn't show it. Parents got sent a pig's head related to his academic work. Police investigated, no evidence of this, no evidence from the butcher who claimed it was from. Loads of things. He claimed he ran 3 or 30 marathons in 35 days. He ran the last 9 with a leg fracture, 600 miles in 6 days. Later he changed it to 12 days. Raised £5.5 million for charity. Whenever these things are questioned, when they're made again and again and again on websites, in writing, by him in speeches and in interviews, he then changes his story and says, oh, no, it was a syndicate of people and I can't disclose their names because we all signed non-disclosure agreements. He's always got an explanation, but his story never seems to be validated.
This is the point I make, though. What does any of that have to do with his academic
I said
credentials?
this is not academic.
He does. It has nothing to do with it.
This is a
So why
man
is
who
there a
is a
story?
Walter Mitty character who lives a life which is... Is it also the case that it's reasonable that the police should have been called in against a fellow academic, Dr. David Harris, but also a journalist at the Times Higher Education, Jack Grove, simply for asking questions, sending polite emails asking for academic claims to be verified?
You have to put that in the context of 3 years of harassment. It's not just one person sending emails, it's multiple emails. And if
Should
he
the
says,
police
look,
be
you know
called
what?
on a journalist asking an academic to verify his academic claims?
I think any question like that is in a vacuum. You're talking
It's
about
not. It's literally happened. Was he right?
if I was subject to if you were subject to a 3-year campaign of harassment, would you say actually no?
But
I need to get
is
some
it a campaign of
legal
harassment, or are people asking questions and I haven't been able to prove myself?
No,
You're saying,
if the question is about my PhD, which has been investigated and is bad,
and other
actually, that is
allegations.
harassment.
There are lots of other allegations of claims that he's made. I've went through an awful lot of them. We've spent 20 minutes going through an awful lot of them. Is
Yeah,
that
which actually
harassment? Is me asking the same question again and again and not getting a substantive answer harassment?
If I say I don't want to talk to you and you keep trying to talk to me, yeah, so that is a definition of harassment. I believe that is what harassment is. So
But you say
Jason felt
that he's not a public figure. If you are a senior academic at an academic institution and you do lots of public-facing interviews and take that role, you have chosen to place yourself in the public eye and to face that scrutiny. In the same way that I, doing my job, I face public scrutiny, and quite rightly.
Must be able to accept the level of scrutiny on him. The fact this is even a story is ridiculous. He's
But
not.
it wouldn't be a story if all of it was
did anybody
true.
know?
If everything that he's ever said was true, and there was evidence for anything and everything he'd said, it wouldn't be a story, would it?
No, but
He's
that's the problem.
created the
Why-
story.
No, he has not. He just took a job he was qualified for and got. And now that since then he's been harassed because people don't believe black people should be at Cambridge. That's actually the
People
story.
don't believe that black people should be at Cambridge.
Yes, there's actually a playbook of this where they try and find everything they can. And I would stress, prior to Cambridge, none of this happened. It's only happened when he went to Cambridge.
Because he got into the public eye as the youngest black professor at Cambridge.
And then people said, "How do we tear him down?" If he was white, this never would have happened. It's outrageous, the level of scrutiny.
Welcome back to reality. What you just watched isn't just an academic dispute. It is the real-time exposure of an establishment that will completely abandon the truth to protect its progressive ideology. Let's cut through the activist spin and look at the actual facts. In 2023, Cambridge University appointed Jason Arday as a sociology professor, parading him across the media as the ultimate diversity success story. But when journalists simply started checking his credentials, the narrative completely collapsed. The public record revealed a staggering level of fabrication. Arday claimed he ran 30 marathons in 35 days, 9 of them supposedly with a broken leg. He claimed to hold prestigious visiting professorships at Ohio State University and the University of Glasgow, which both institutions confirmed were completely fake. He even claimed to have published a book that the publisher confirmed never existed. Finally, independent analysis of his 2015 PhD thesis found over 100 plagiarized passages. Faced with this undeniable proof, Arday officially resigned from Cambridge on August 5, 2026. But watch how Professor Kehinde Andrews and the academic left react in that clip. Confronted with hard evidence of resume fraud, they do not apologize or defend academic integrity. Instead, they panic, play the victim, and immediately hide behind weaponized identity politics. They actually expect the public to believe that asking a highly paid professor to verify his own resume is somehow a malicious racist attack. This exchange matters because it exposes a profound institutional failure. Universities are supposed to be the guardians of objective truth and rigorous standards. Instead, this scandal proves they have become so deeply infected by diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates that they will deliberately bypass basic scrutiny just to protect a preferred political narrative. They are protecting a failing ideology, and the public can see right through.